like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And the new season of Doctor Who is coming. And when I say the new season of Doctor Who is coming, that is the closest we're going to get to anything sounding in any way pleasurable about the upcoming season of Doctor Who. Doctor Who Flux. Flux, of course, is a word for diarrhea. I don't think it's going to be that far off. Anyway, so the rumours are thick and fast. Yeah, she cried. I mean, really, I'm under a minute in. I got 2 knob gags in. I think I've earned my money right there. Not that this is monetized. Anyway, the rumours are coming thick and fast. We're going to get they've already told us they're leaning heavily into the timeless children thing. So the spoilers dropped on Reddit, spoiling everything. The whole Chibnall plan, which is basically a rip-off of the Cartmel plan, which we're going to be seeing in a second. We got this really weird video from Stephen Moffat, like ostensibly saying, wishing good luck to Chris General, but it seems to be a diss in code, right? And then I forgot the thing I'm looking forward to most in this season, and it's funny that I'm actually looking forward to it. Thasmin, we're going to get some scissoring in the TARDIS. Yes, I think it's going to happen. We're going to have a quick look at that as well, which I think is coming. And again, saying the word coming is the only thing pleasurable connected to this season. Before we get into it, can you hit the like button? That'll be fan-dabby, double dozy. Can you hit the share button? Fan-dabby, double dozy. Can you imagine something even better? Like, share, subscribe. Let me know. Oh no, that's comment. See, that's what happens when you just do things by rote. Okay, subscribe. Thank you very much for subscribing. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. If you are subscribed, can you make sure you're still subscribed? YouTube took a bunch of people. Actually, I didn't check my. I look too often, right? I check my subscribers way too often. It's not good for you, right? I'm doing it right now. Like, I'm literally looking at it right now. Well, you see my broken phone case. My wife notices. I said, "Is your phone case broke?" I said, "Yeah." She says, "Well, is that a problem?" Not really. I don't really go anywhere. So, will your phone get broken? It's an old phone. I'm about ready for a new phone. It's not even telling me. Okay, yeah, my subscribe is still the same place. Anyway, if you're unsubscribed, if you are still, please make sure you're still subscribed. That'd be very, very nice. Thank you very much. It makes me ridiculously happy. I mean, it really, genuinely does make me ridiculously happy. So like, share, subscribe, comment. I mentioned that before, erroneously, but I'm saying it again now. Comment, let me know what you think. One, because I would like to know what you think. Actually, yes, I would actually like to know what you think, and I do reply to all your comments. But also because the algorithm loves your comments. Go, nim, 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 eat some all up, and they go, yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy in my tummy. You know what's not yummy in anybody's tummy? The timeless child. So we've been told that the Doctor is going to lean heavily into that. So where is that? It's over here. Doink. So this is the Reddit leak. Goes on for quite a bit, but we'll go for it. It's so shit. I mean, it's I hate to be the one. It really. The reason it sounds true to me because it sounds really, really crap. Okay, so I mean, is it real? Is it? I don't know. Look, there are like crazy fanatical Jodie channels. Who are not having a good time, right? Are not having a good time. And they're going to have a much worse time over the next 6 weeks, I think, when the ratings start coming out. What do you think the rating's going to be for episode 1? I don't know. Like, a 1, okay, could go 1 or 2 ways. I think it's going to be around the Revolution of the Dalek numbers. So it'll be around, like, overnight it'll be about 4.5 to 5.5. That sounds likely. It's been off the air for a long time, so people forgot how much they hate it. Maybe they haven't, right? And it'll be like in the 3s. I really don't know, but whatever happens, unless the series is good, it's not going to be good. I mean, like, really good in terms of it grabs everybody's attention. It's not going to do that. That's just outside of Chibnall's wheelhouse with Doctor Who. He just can't do it. The ratings by the end are going to be the lowest ever, right? The lowest ever, lower even than season 12. Which is pretty bad. I think, okay, listen, the reason I make these predictions online, and publish them, is so on the off chance I'm right, I can then point back and go, look at me being right. If the great thing about social media is the minute you post something, everybody forgets, right? Everybody forgets. Yeah, unless you have to be John Barrowman, and then nobody forgets. No, unless you're targeted cancellation. But I just realized the only way you can get targeted cancellation is if you or if you're in an industry that in any way cares about the woke Twitterati, right? If you're not, you're basically free from them, which is essentially, this is a bit of an aside, this is essentially why there's a pitched battle going over Dave Chappelle at Netflix. Right, it's about power, right? It's just bottom line. It's all about power. Fine. Doctor Who season 13 leaks. The full truth of the division and the time scale. Now, I want to say before I get into this, I really don't care. It's like, to me, it's not Doctor Who. I just really genuinely don't give a shit. I just don't. So the way he starts it is clever, right? I know I've already posted the episode titles earlier today. Did you? I don't know, mate. That's the sort of thing you want to say when somebody screenshots and sends it out to make it sound like you're credible, right? But then again, I don't know. But I wanted to get this out as well. All right, I was planning on holding out on this, but given why? Why were you putting out on this? Like, until when? Until after you were proved right? No, that was stupid. But given the vast plethora of questions I've gotten asking very specific, in-depth details about the true overall story of the time scale. See, and the division, I don't really believe that, right? I don't really believe he's been inundated with questions, right? I don't think there's that much interest. I don't think anybody really cares. By the way, I just want to say, if you like the current era Doctor Who, God bless you. Love it. I mean, I love you loving it. I got nothing against you. I really genuinely am happy that you're enjoying it. I don't like it. I'm not really a fan, right? I'm not really a fan. I think to say not really a fan is a bit of an understatement. I think it's pure evil. I think that's more the lines where I am. I genuinely do. I think it's pure evil. I think it's just this terrible indoctrination of children to try and make them compliant and dumb and not think, which is the absolute opposite of what Doctor Who should be, right? That's why Jodie Whittaker and Chris Jodie have portrayed the 13th Doctor as a brainless conformist, because that's what they want you to be, right? That's what they want you to be. It's amazing. It's amazing that socialists will always say, you need to have compassion for any for minorities or. Which you should do, yeah, that's true. But you should have compassion for people outside of power until they're in power, right? That's why I'm saying socialists. They say you've got to have compassion for people, marginalized people, until they're in power, and then they say no, we got to have compliance. We must have compliance. Okay, so that's good. Little note. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and lay everything out. Do be warned, what you're about to read is the biggest spoiler you can get in terms of Chibnall's plan for the story. Okay. Be warned, what you're about to biggest spoiler story. So you've been warned, this is going to be a long one, but you did ask for details. I didn't, but I guess some people did, maybe, unless that's just you cleverly trying to make yourself sound like you're legitimate. Before I begin, I need to give some context as well as a minor history lesson about how Chibnall is wanting to plan his plan to unravel, as well as Gallifrey's official and unofficial history. Okay, so it's no secret Chibnall is a fan of taking aspects from other Doctor Who showrunners and trying to spin them off in his own take. Yeah, it's called creatively bankrupt, I think is the word you're after. One idea in particular was always something that Chibnall was very interested in, as it helped bring a new perspective to Doctor Who. Even as a fan of the show back in the classic run, he was very critical about the show taking its storytelling on a more safe approach. Well, okay, I mean, I don't know. How could your storytelling be more safe than seasons 11 and 12? I mean, like, you're fitting into the absolute conformity of, this social conditioning. Like, yeah, I mean, really? Are you saying anything dangerous? Are you saying anything? No, you're really not. That's the thing. You're really genuinely not. So yeah, it's amazing. People use buzzwords, right? Because it makes them feel good, and they're just completely detached from any form of reality. And often the absolute inverse of reality. If you watch the White House press briefings, or like the whenever it was being grilled, they had what was it, the TikTok executive being grilled on in America by Senator Ted Cruz. Right, so he kept saying, he asked the question, is this company, you name the guy, part of your management structure? And then the guy just gives an answer different. We have a broad-based management structure, but it doesn't answer it. So he answered it again, and he answered it again. It's like, your answers need to be somehow connected to the question. The same way, I understand you want to open up to new ideas, and you don't want safe storytelling. So don't be a safe storyteller. That's really the biggest crime of the Chibnall era. It's boring. It's very boring because it's very obviously pandering to the sensibilities of crazy people that live on Twitter, right? Which are getting crazier, I think. Fine. This was something he wanted to change, or something he had in mind from the very moment that the showrunner job was in sight. One idea that inspired. I guess this is what he tells himself, right? But really, deep down, what it is, he wants people to say he's stunning and brave, right? Because he cast the first female Doctor Who. He wants to, he wants to feel virtuous. That's why people virtue signal. He wants to change, and so he had in mind from the very beginning of the where the showrunner was in sight. One idea that inspired Chibnall more than anything for his plot twist he devised comes from the infamous Cartmel master plan, which was eventually wrapped up in the Virgin New Adventures book called Lungbarrow, which I wish Big Finish would do an adaptation of. It's a really, really good story by Mark Platt, where you go to the Doctor's ancestral home, Lungbarrow. It's really quite cool. I honestly, I would love to see Capaldi visit Lungbarrow. That'd be awesome. It will paint the Doctor in a completely new light from the Time Lord, who simply ran away from home. Yeah, but the thing with that Cartmel master plan did, and also Moffat when he introduced the War Doctor, was he didn't invalidate or throw out a gazillion million plot holes for the rest of Doctor Who, right? Because it was done with some talent and intelligence. Two things not in abundant supply in the Chibnall household. By the way, I keep thinking, like, now they're wrapping up making Doctor Who. He said in one of his interviews, we said 3 and done, and then we're out. Well, that's the way. That's what we're going to do. 3 years and then because I got to be home for my children's GCSEs. His kids are probably going, oh God, no, Dad, please don't come on. No. Okay, Dad, I'm going out for it. Do you want me to come with you, son? You want me to come with you and hold you? No, Dad, I'm cool, mate. Leave me alone. Like, oh God, you don't need to be. Listen, I've raised many children. Okay, you don't need to be there for their exams, right? It's not that big a deal. In generally speaking, by the way, you should know. I don't know. Actually, honestly, I don't even know about the education system in Israel. But we kind of realize until they start their exams, they're like the O levels, they're called Bagruts or GCSEs, whatever you want. And I'm dating myself. Nothing really matters, right? Just nothing. Like nothing really matters in terms of education. And then they just say, and then again, the Israeli system is they just say, fine, you got to know this bunch of stuff and regurgitate on paper so you get the mark that you want, right? And that. They're all very open about it, but that's how we have won the best education, best educated populations in the world and the Middle East, or Middle East and the world. Fine. The Doctor will be completely new. Fine. And now, until the events of the Timeless Children, the history of Gallifrey rather simple. So here now he combines a bunch of stuff into one lump. It's kind of interesting. Species of human-like creatures known as Shabugans evolved and became the dominant species in the world. I don't think that was the case. I think they evolved and became Time Lords, became Gallifreyans, right? And then they developed Time Lord society, and then people wanted to leave it and rebel against it, and they became Shabugans. Were the Shabugans... Maybe they're another race that lived outside the capital. I don't know. But this sounds... I may be wrong. But this sounds like this is this guy's headcanon he's putting in. Eventually leading to a minor exploration into space, and they would come into contact with the vampires, leading to a war that would last season. So the whole idea of the vampire war, as I understood, which I thought was quite clever, is the Time Lords, Gallifreyans, whoever they were at the time, wanted to adopt science. With science, you have everything is defined. There's no grey areas. There's no shadows, right? Whereas the vampires, where you live by magic and witchcraft and all that stuff, which doesn't have definitions and lives in the shadows, lives in the borders, right? And so that was the essential conflict between the two powers, which I like that idea. I thought that was very clever. Like, just in the same way, I like the idea of the Rutans and the Suntarans. Suntarans are very rigid, template. They are very well defined. Where Rutans are very expansive and amorphous, right? I like having a little bit of thought behind the conflict rather than just having a heavy of the day. Anyway, I digress. During this time, there were 3 prominent members of Shibugan society: Rassilon, Omega, and the other. Yeah, this all comes from Lung Barrow. There was like there was a flashback to the beginnings of Time Lord Society. Together they helped shape Time Lord Society. Rassilon became the first Time Lord president. Omega was consumed by a black hole to grant Time Lords the ability to time travel, and the other was lost the annals of history. So the other was essentially the Doctor. He was the third. Again, now we're in Lung Barrow. This is not. I don't think it's canon anymore, really. I think they put the whole Cartmel Masterman, the whole Virgin universe into its own bubble, right? So I don't think this is canon anymore, right? I'm not even sure if it ever really was, but the other was and they got these things called the looms where Time Lords are knitted or looms, I should say, rather than born, and the other throws himself into like this laser beam that's a source code for all Time Lords, and eventually millennia later the Doctor is born in the House of Lung Barrow without a belly button. Oh no, with a belly button, right? That's the idea, with a belly button, which the Gallifreyans don't have, and therefore he got the nickname Wormhole, I think. Yeah, so but the belly button indicated he was really a reincarnation of the other, because the other was human. The other was lost in the annals of history. After the Great Schism, the Gallifreyans were unable to reproduce naturally, leading to the development of new artificial reproduction devices, the looms. It was then told that Rassilon himself helped modulate Time Lord genetics to create regeneration as we know it today. Yeah, okay, plus minus. Basically, that's what it was. Right. Obviously, there seems much different from the story after the revelation of Series 12. I think it's going away, all this continuity. I think it's going away. According to the Matrix files, the Master claimed to find there was an explorer known as Tectun. God, awful. Okay, now I'm starting to get into the criminal stuff. I've read this last night. It's so bad. I'm starting to get dry heaves because I know I'm coming up to what they're going to talk about. Tectun, who found a mysterious child over a vortex, I think over a portal. This child would prove to have the unique ability to generate. Tectun then took this finding and was able to give herself the genetic ability to regenerate, helping thrust Time Lord Society, but begs several questions that have yet to be answered. What happened to Tectun? That's fair. That's quite a fair question. Where was the timeless child during the events of the dark days of Gallifrey, leading up to when seemingly the first Doctor millions of years, the first Doctor was appeared millions of years later? Yeah, that's actually a fair bloody question. And what's the deal with the Time Lord Division files that were erased from the Matrix? What exactly is a division? Okay, not everything the Doctor told was true. What a boring way of getting out of jail free. Some of it was, but not all. The real origins of Gallifrey, as well as the Tooth of the Timeless Child, are as follows. Okay, during the space travels of Tectun, she did come across a lone child above a vortex. I think it's more of a portal of unknown origin. She adopted the child and discovered that they had the ability to regenerate, and began performing tests to lead to the successful first regeneration of herself. Yeah, she murdered the kid over and over again. It was so creepy, right? Okay, one of the reasons this was so creepy, speaking of so creepy, you got to check out that Twix ad. Oh my god, creepier than the Gillette ad from a couple of years ago. It's and then there's a Doritos Mexican as well. Lots of creepy ads going on, but it was very creepy because they kept all the non-verbal information, like the lighting, the camera work, the camera position, all that, presented Tectun as a heroic character. and none of the dialogue presented her as an evil character, even though she was doing clearly very evil things, right? Like very, very. Yeah, it's just weird. It was weird and creepy. Fine. However, at the time when she was ready to present her findings, Rassilon had begun the purge of the Shibugan Society with the followers to begin the institution of a new regime that that he would lead himself. Together, Tectoon, Rassilon, and Omega began devising how to make their people the greatest, most powerful civilization in the universe. However, it was a civilization Rassilon wanted to rule and not share power with anybody else. It was he was the one who devised the sabotage to Omega, so it would be lost forever after his successful creation of the Eye of Harmony. Now that's actually quite a nice little bit, because again, if they just added that bit about Rassilon being the one who's responsible for Omega being lost in the black hole, doesn't contradict anything and adds in new layers, right? That was good, but everything else is good. When Tectoon, see, talking about things that are being trapped, we're talking about Tectoon again. When Tectoon saw what happened, they realized how mad Rassilon was becoming and devised a way to escape his grasp. They used what little influence they had to create the division. We'll cover that in a moment. After the creation, using the genetic prowess, they created the first chameleon arch and stole one of the first prototype TARDIS, escaping into the vortex. Given the TARDIS itself was extremely unstable, it flung Tectoon hundreds of years into the past. But before it fell apart, Tectoon used the chameleon arch to rewrite their DNA. Here we get to the awful. Rewrite the DNA, so ripping off so many things at once. I guess chameleon arch was devised. So, who would you credit chameleon arch to? Rusty Davis or Paul Cornell? I think Rusty Davis. In the book Human Nature, the Doctor's consciousness was stored in a little red ball, like a cricket ball, right? Yeah, so I'm going to say Rusty Davis. Second. Where is it? I lost my place. But before it fell apart, you used chameleons to rewrite the DNA of the Time Lord to avoid genetic tracing by Rassilon, and conformed into the genetic makeup of the alien child they cared for all those years ago. So essentially, she chameleon arched herself into the timeless child that she then found. As the TARDIS broke apart within the vortex, Min materializing in a tear in reality opened up on a barren world that they tried escaping to, with no memory of their past, with no memory of her past, being mortally wounded and having the ability to regenerate after being modeled after the genetic makeup of the child. Tectoon regenerated, transforming themselves into the body of the young child, who would later be found in the past by a past self and be brought back to Gallifrey. So it's like a bootstrap paradox, right? And it's just garbage. It's shit. It's really. So who created? It's this weird circular thing, and it's just bad. Now, as to what happened to the child, well, Tectoon dismembered the child into their basic DNA components, combined with pure Time Lord DNA, and place them into the loom reproductism that may eventually be reincarnated in the future, to the point where Rassilon and his power hunger was no longer a threat. So they then ripping off the looms from Aaron Cartmel, and Aaron Cartmel has gone on record twice as saying how bad he thinks the Timeless Child is. So fine. So did they both escape into the vortex? Yeah, and then you put the Timeless Child into the looms, to be reborn as a Doctor at some point. In order to ensure the safe loom restoration of the child, the division was created. The division itself is basically a secret Illuminati society, to help maintain the protection of the future looming of the child. They created a division within the Gallifreyan Matrix, telling the altered split history of the Timeless Child to make it look as if the child was simply an alien from another universe. And Tectoon had been lost forever, never to have been named by Rassilon again. So Tectoon becomes the other, and the Timeless Child becomes the Doctor. Okay. It's so bad. It really is bad. Making it appear to the rest of Timeless Society as if Tectoon simply ran away and was lost to the vortex forever. Okay. Over time, the division eroded away after millions of years until only one member remained. And here it gets cringe. The cringe is strong at this point. Who's the one last remaining member? Barusa. And it's always the worst when they go into classic lore, right? It's always the absolute worst. Eventually, this final member would initiate the looming process, giving birth to what would appear to be a simple Gallifreyan to the rest of the planet, with no one knowing that it was indeed a reincarnation of Tectoon. So, Tectoon was the timeless child. Okay, fine. Wait, 1 second. Let's go through this again. Tectoon runs from Gallifrey. Right, okay. Tectoon finds the timeless child above a portal. The timeless child dies and regenerates, and she says, wow, I got to get a bit of that. So she then kills the kid over and over again, works out how to regenerate, right? And then she flees Gallifrey and Rassilon in a prototype TARDIS. Chameleon arches herself into another being so she won't get caught. The TARDIS breaks up, creating the portal rift or whatever that and that she found the timeless child on, and she falls through that and regenerates into the timeless child, right? The first one she found, and then she's found by Tectoon, and that's for the actual timeless child. She put her into the looms to be reborn at some point in the future as the Doctor, and the division is designed to look after this future timeless child. The last member of it being Barusa. Fine, we're up to date. Aveda would appear to be a simple Gallifreyan with no knowledge, with no one knowing the fact it was reincarnation of Tectoon, and still had no memory whatsoever to fulfill his oath. Wait. Just trying to think, with all these paradoxes, what happened to Tectoon? Tectoon starts off, finds the timeless child, takes it back to Gallifrey, becomes able to regenerate, and then runs away from Gallifrey. TARDIS breaks up. That becomes a portal. She falls through it, regenerates into the timeless child. So that's where she is now. However, the timeless child, who is also Tectoon, was broken up and put into the loops. Okay! Fine. So Tectoon is both the Doctor and the time. God, it's so bad. It's so bad. Fine. To fulfill his oath, he would go on to protect this child, and even going as far as to tutor them and giving them a place in the academy where the child will go on to take on the name the Doctor. In terms of the Master and Gallifrey being destroyed, this plan was initiated by Rassilon, who knew what the Matrix said about the time it was simply being an alien from another universe as being the Doctor. He manipulated the Master into discovering the data in the Matrix, knowing they would lead to the Master destroying the planet. How? I don't know. Therefore, giving Rassilon the ultimate revenge on the people he helped create after betraying him to the Doctor in Hell Bent. Okay. Now to answer the mysterious Morbius Doctors as well. The Roof Doctor, I don't know the entire story, as that mystery is still going to be explored further until the 60th. Okay, so they're dealing with the Doctor Who stuff in the one of the 3 specials, or all the 3 specials. From what little I do know, it appears that Ruth is going to be between 2 and 3. I thought she was going to be between between 2 and 3 makes sense, right? Because there is that grey area, so it does fit there. But I thought she was going to be between 1 and 2, which is why she didn't have a sonic screwdriver. And help the original plan was she was an alternate timeline Doctor that Hartnell regenerated into, and then there was going to be an alternate 3rd Doctor, 4th Doctor, and help the Division with some grand leading. So she between 2 and 3, leading to some grand operation, leading to their ultimate defeat and purge the regeneration to carry out the original exile on Earth as the 3rd Doctor. This is how continuity is ensured. This is how continuity is ensured as to why the Roof Doctor travels to the TARDIS disguised as a police telephone call box. Sort of. Okay. There you have it. In terms of the timeless child, Chibnall has combined both the rendition of ideas of a cult or master plan, as well as the bootstrap paradox, to open the doors for a plethora of new story possibilities for the future of Doctor Who, all of which are going to be summarily ignored, right? All of them are going to be summarily. Now, why do I feel they're going to be summarily ignored? Well, maybe because of this. So this is Stephen Moffat. You probably recognise him. Stephen Moffat is from the old school, from the Russell T Davies school of Doctor Who, right? Not the old school, the new old school. And so he sent this message of support yesterday on Twitter. It seems like a diss to me, right? It seems like a significant diss. Let's we'll listen it together. You tell me what you think.
Hello, everyone. Well, how good is that Doctor Who trailer? That Doctor Who trailer is amazing. I have watched it for...
It's really not. I mean, like, we all know you're taking the piss. It's really, I mean, every trailer that you did, Steve, was better, right? Every single trailer was better. Every trailer that Russell T Davies did was better, right? But it's like... Every trailer, it wasn't a good trailer at all. So, firstly, it sounds like he's taking the piss. Well, let's listen a bit more.
413 times, and for me, that is only the beginning. But I would like to apologize for blowing the return of the Weeping Angels. I really didn't mean to do that. I am tremendously sorry. But now you've also...
So, do you think this is true? Do you think he did blow it by me? Probably. I mean, Chibnall's way of marketing is just so bad. It's so unbelievably bad, isn't it? That, he's like, no, don't tell anybody until the last minute. Oh, no, build it up, you stupid. Oh, just build it up. Get people excited. Oh, and okay, I understand you're doing that for season 11 as well, but surely you saw how badly it worked out. Maybe just hire someone. Hire a marketing expert to come in and tell you what to do. For that matter, hire Paul Cornell to write. He's a douchebag, but he can write, right? Like Mozart was a douchebag who could write music very, very well.
Now, you've all seen in the trailer, you know they're there. Please accept my heartfelt apologies. Chris was incredibly cross and, in fact, threatened to...
So, I think he was incredibly cross, right? I think he was really pissed off, and he just let it go. And I think this is Moffat saying... Oh, sorry, I can't say. There you go, to Chibnall.
To send the boys round. But I think he rather overestimates his power in that regard.
With a weeping angel behind him. Really, this seems to be the Twitter version of smacking your dick in somebody's face to me. Right? It really, really does.
Anyway, at least the best trailer ever for Doctor Who, and I hope you all enjoy the show.
Yeah, nobody. And what does this mean? I know, 61 to 70. I don't understand. It's like 230 is the what happens when you do that math. I don't understand. He's saying something, right? He's saying something, and I don't understand what it is. But I do understand what this next person is saying, right? I do understand what this next person is saying, and it's nonsense. What they're saying, it's absolute nonsense. Here we go. Doink. Doctor Who's Mandip Gill addresses Doctor romance rumors. That's just what happens to people naturally. No, it doesn't. I mean, listen. If you're gay, maybe, yes, possibly, but I've been around a lot of blokes, right? I've been around a lot of blokes for a lot of time. I've never, ever wanted to suck anybody's dick. I never liked anybody that. I've actually cared for people. I've cared for men in a manly way. In a manly way. But really, no. That's what I had with Brokeback Mountain. You saw a couple of cowboys, they're herding these cattle in and it's cold, and then they start having sex with each other. Again, listen. No, it doesn't happen. And again, I understand. We have a percentage of the world that's gay. But it's a small percentage. It's like, what was it? The world is like over 90% straight, I believe, right? So no, it doesn't happen naturally, you weirdo. I'd like to think it heads where people will have gone, yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. So let me ask you. Mandip, darling, you and Jodie get on very well. You do look like you're about to shag each other. in this picture, which is very disturbing, right? It does look like that, but have you ever had sex with Jodie? Really? Because it just happens naturally, doesn't it? I mean, it does. That's what you told us. Obviously, I wouldn't say if it's happening, Gil told Radio Times as part of a wider interview. By wider interview, she means it means they didn't interview them personally. They just put out a press release. But it could do because they spent so much time together. That's what happens to people naturally. No, it doesn't. And this is the weird thing. They're trying to reprogram the whole world into thinking. No, it don't. If you're straight, that's cool. If you're gay, it's cool. Whatever. But don't try and tell people, oh no, you should really try this gay thing. Yeah, give it a go. Give it a go. Yeah. I mean, no. I mean, I guess okay, here's the thing. If you can imagine kissing somebody of the same sex and it being a pleasurable experience, then you might be gay. Give it a go if you want, right? If you don't have any religious or any other objection, give it a go, right? But I'm just not like that, right? I just find the idea of kissing a bloke really, really gross. And I'm not even talking with tongues. Once you get tongues in, I'm vomiting, okay? That's just me for you. But yeah, it doesn't just happen naturally. It happens naturally if you're watching gay porn. It doesn't happen naturally in the real world. However, Gil also cautioned fans, don't buy a hat for Yaz and Doctor's wedding just yet. Nothing, noting the duo's closest doesn't necessarily mean they'll be getting involved romantically. Here's what I think is going to happen. It's going to get raised. And they'll bring it up. And Doctor will be like, hey, keep up, no, I don't do relationships or whatever. He said, oh, is it because I'm a lady? You don't like the lady bit? Oh, no, I like the lady bit. If I was going to do something, I don't really see a difference between boys and girls because it just happens. That's the sort of thing that's going to happen, right? Because this is the weird social conditioning they're trying to reprogram. They're trying to tell people that they're core identity, the cornerstones of who they are isn't real, and they should give sucking a dick a chance, right? If they're a bloke, yeah. People have asked about it. People have wanted it. No, they haven't. I mean, I want it. Let me give it. I really, really want it. For me, this is going to be awesome, right? Absolutely awesome. My ongoing storyline on my channel, which is true for like a couple of years, I was at war with an official with my synagogue, basically, who had all the power and I had no power, and I kicked his ass. Essentially, I handed his ass. But anyway, what happened was he made this big speech towards the end of his time there, where he blew himself up. Like he just completely broke so many Orthodox Jewish laws doing that speech, and people look at him like scumbag. But yeah, it's so for me, doing Yasmin on Doctor Who will be the same thing because I was like the black sheep to about 30 to 40% of the community until then, and then everyone, oh yeah, I guess you're right there, Tzvi, well done. But and apart from the ones who were really in the bag for this guy, and now they just got egg on their face. But anyway, Thasmin will be the same thing, right? Thasmin will be the same thing. So I really want them to do it. People asking me what wanted it. Me and Jodies have a lovely relationship. So are you fucking each other then? Because it happens naturally. Are you? Have you put your tongue up our arse recently? Really? We would like to know. We would like to know because it happens. It's natural, mate. I'm not asking anything unnatural, am I? It happens naturally. I think it's all written very naturally. Nothing Chibnall has written has been very natural. I like to think that's where people. I like to think it heads where people will have gone, yeah, that's where it's supposed to be. I understand that's what you're trying to program in. In other words, Thasmin, 13 Yasmin fans will have a lot to hope for. Me too. Don't worry, as Doctor Who Flux kicks off this weekend. Oh, I hope it kicks off with a bit of scissoring in the TARDIS. The other rumour going around is Yaz gets lost in another dimension or some. Who gives a shit? It is crap. It's also, I don't call it Doctor Who. I just don't. I don't. You want Doctor Who, by the way? The one thing I'm going to be reviewing later today. Where is this? Is this book over here. Oh, actually, not this book. This is the sequel. I'm reviewing season. This is season 13. I'm reviewing season 12. This is an alternate. It's basically this is a fifth Capaldi season. It's an alternate fourth Capaldi season, carrying on directly from Jodie, sideline Jodie. I finished it yesterday, so I'm looking forward to reviewing it. That's the way you want to go. It's really good. It's really good. So I'm going to record that view in a few minutes. Go and check it out. I think it's dropping on Saturday. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop.